Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Postgame Show, the hodgepodge of nothingness. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. So here's the story. Jim was in Kansas City this past week, as I think you guys probably knew. If not, that's where he was. Right now, he's ventured off to Phoenix, Arizona. So no Jim today. Tyler got cable. Tyler went backwards. He went back to 1998. He's canceled everything. So he got cable literally the day of the Pirates being played on Peacock. So he couldn't watch today's game because he canceled everything with his cable now. So Tyler couldn't watch the game. Jim's out of town. He's actually at the Diamondbacks game today he's going to. So it's just myself once again, as you all probably expected, right? But anyways, the show goes on. I'm here to talk to you about today's Pirates loss. Not much different from all the other Pirates losses, albeit it was just a one-run game. So I guess there's that. But it wasn't pretty. Wasn't pretty again. It was close. JT Brubaker started the game. He really didn't pitch terrible. I mean, it wasn't a great game. He does last 6 innings. And I'm sorry, didn't go the full 6 innings. Last 5.1 innings, but does give up 3 runs, 2 earned. We could talk about the Cruz play that ball got past him, which gave up the 1 run, making it 3-0. But anyways, he goes 5.1, gives up 2, 5 strikeouts, just 5 hits, 2 walks, does give up a home run, which is definitely something that's been like his plague for some time, albeit he's gotten better giving the long ball. But hey, this is the Blue Jays offense. If there's anything to talk about the Blue Jays, it's this offense. It's very good. I mean, think about it. You have last year's MVP candidate, Vladimir Guerrero in it. I mean, just go up and down. They get Matt Chapman back, or get Matt Chapman in a trade this year. They got Teoscar Hernandez and a flea steal. Francisco Liriano from the Astros. You know, you got Kirk, Bichette, Biggio, Gurriel, Merrifield now in a trade, Jansen's. I mean, this is the stacked lineup. So, I mean, again, like we're talking pretty much this entire series. The pitching kind of held down the Blue Jays offense for the most part. JT Brubaker, again, is part of that. Wasn't the best game from him, but it was certainly solid from him. So decent start from JT Brubaker. His first start since being a father. Unfortunately, once again, not able to get a win. And unfortunately, once again, not from the best defense behind him. So as mentioned, Oneil Cruz, defensively, we talked about the arm. Typically with a glove, it's very solid. There was a ball that he didn't want to. He basically just thinking in front of it today. You know, talk about defensively. Got the hand. I think to his left. No, to his right. So glove to the right hand side. Tries to pick at it. It goes past him. There's a hit. There was also a play that he probably could have made a double play on. But just again, like looking at the footwork, I know it was an awkward throw. It wasn't the best, but doesn't get it to Newman well enough for him to make the double play. So there are some defensive blunders there. Also with Castro at third base, we talked about him as well. Like the glove. I mean, he makes some really incredible athletic plays. He made a good play today as well. Had time to set his feet to throw it to first. Doesn't do so. Just chucks it 10 feet. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that egregious, but chucks it over Van Meter's head at first. He can't get to it. So there's another base runner that shouldn't have happened. So yeah, once again, JT Brubaker pitches. I mean, effectively, but for the most part, bad defense on the other end, which is kind of his 2022 demise as well.
I found this on the web.
Thank you, Siri. So there's JT Brubaker. But again, he does leave. It's, I think 3-2 at the time when he does leave. I mean, it's still a ball game, right? It might have been 3-1 at the time, but either way, he leaves the game. Chase De Jong comes in after him, cleans it up. Now he does give up a walk. There's 2 guys on. Chase De Jong doing what he did Friday night. It seems like, you know, he needed some excitement. He needed some guys on the base pass to shut him down. And that's what he did today. He threw just 13 pitches to do so. Gets out of the inning. So no runs, no more runs charged on JT Brubaker. None for obviously Chase De Jong for the walk he allowed. But again, just typical like Chase De Jong. He didn't strike anyone out. He got a big double play to end the inning. Nothing sexy, but he did it. He did his work, and now his ERA is down to a 1.86. It just keeps going lower and lower and lower at the end of the year. So here's where the controversy starts, I guess. The next inning, we'll talk about this. The next inning, Shelton puts in Duane Underwood Jr. Now, Duane Underwood Jr. coming off a 36 pitch inning, outing, I should say, of yesterday. There was a lot of chatter today I see on Twitter about that's basically waving the white flag. The Pirates were in this. They could win this game. Why are you putting in Chase Underwood Jr. right now after 37 pitches or 36 pitches, whatever it was, 37 or 36 the night before? And here's what I want to say to that. Manny Benuelos has been pretty effective since that trade, right? Again, we talk about this first game back with the Yankees. He got humiliated, but since then he's been pretty effective. There's kind of like Chase De Jong. There's nothing that screams sexy from him. Like it's not like he's out there just dominating, but he's getting the job done. But he's your only lefty. It's kind of early in the game still, right? Probably save him for a situation. Let's look at the rest of this bullpen. Let's go down it right now. Who's available? Oh, I've lost that. Okay, fine. So who's available? Well, Crow's available, but you're probably saving him till later innings, right? We know that. So you're waiting on him. Ramirez is available in his 6+ ERA. ERA is available with his 9+ ERA. Stevenson's available with his 6+ ERA. I mean, Beatty's apparently in the rotation now. Zach Thompson, I guess you could stay. I don't know what Zach Thompson is with his 5+ ERA. What I'm alluding to is this bullpen stinks. It stinks. Now, you could argue that Chase De Jong could have stayed in, and that's fine. I'm not sure what the story on that is, but he did pitch 36 pitches as well on Friday night, and then he pitched on Tuesday as well. Duane Underwood Jr. hasn't pitched. I mean, since last night's game. Last time he pitched was Monday. So him going 2 games back to back, I don't have that big of a problem with. Like, I get it. It was 36 pitches last night. But again, not pitching since Monday beforehand, I'm okay with him going 2 in a row. And the other reason I'm okay with that is, once again, like, if you're blaming Shelton and putting all this on Shelton for putting him in there, there's an argument to be made. And that's why we do question if Shelton's really the next guy, right? And we talk about his bullpen management. But ultimately, let's talk about the real reason, the true person who's at fault. Once again, it's Ben Cherington. Like, Ben Cherington's who's given Derek Shelton these non-options. Because let's call it what it is, these non-options. This was a game that the Pirates actually had a chance of winning. And like every time there is an actual chance of winning, Shelton has to play it like it's game 7 of a World Series. And that's basically what he did here. I mean, let's call it for what it is. Duane Underwood Jr. isn't a great reliever. I truly feel he's a decent reliever. He belongs in a bullpen by that. Not a late innings guy, but he belongs in a bullpen. He is a decent reliever who's just constantly overworked. But do I trust Duane Underwood Jr. after a 36 pitch outing the night before over Ramirez, who, by the way, did pitch good? So I'll give him that, right? But that's hindsight now. Do I trust Ramirez? No. Do I trust Yuri? No. Stevenson, who we just got, I don't trust yet. I like the acquisition. So again, if you're really going out there for the win, for the finally a victory for this Pirates team, I'm rolling the dice on Duane Underwood Jr. after a 36 pitch outing. I'm rolling the dice on him. I'm praying he gets us through, because I still prefer him over every other option that's out there, because then I'm saving Crow. And then you're asking after, like today, right? After you throw Crow, then you're saying, well, I pray to God someone else can shut down this team against especially the Blue Jays. And Ramirez did that. But again, this is where we're at. What are we talking about? This bullpen is not good. It's terrible, especially with guys like Bednar out. So, yes, we could discuss, certainly, maybe Chase De Jong does go an extra inning. But I am not by any means faulting Shelton today for putting in Duane Underwood Jr. again. It is what it is. And tomorrow they face the Mets, and that's going to be a tough matchup as well. Like, you had a chance to get a win today. Go get it. And Underwood's your best option right now, outside of Crow, who you're saving. So again, that's just where I'm at. I'm not making a big deal of it like others. You want to really place blame on somebody? Place blame on the GM who's given Shelton nothing. All right. So move on from that. Will Crow does come in, and Will Crow makes it interesting. And let's go back to the last time. I think it was last time he pitched, where I talked about there how like end of the season his numbers are going to regress, and you guys will be talking about how bad he is and such. He's also another guy that's overworked, and he comes out there, first two batters, strikes him out, 1-2 down, then gives up 2 walks. Makes it interesting. That's the Pirates' way. Makes things interesting. So 2 on, 2 outs. Finally gets out of the jam. So Will Crow, another scoreless inning. His ERA is down to a 3.46. It's a 1-run ball game. Pirates are still actually in this game. It's an interesting game. There's no offense for the Pirates, basically. And again, like the Blue Jays didn't have a ton of offense today either. So Pirates are still in the ball game. As mentioned, Ramirez comes in for the 9th inning. You're praying he can do it. That's exactly why, again, like Duane Underwood Jr., I was hoping he gets through it, not passing blame on Shelton for putting him in. First batter up, Vlad Guerrero Jr. And you just know this ain't going to match up. Again, it's Ramirez versus Guerrero. Ramirez throws a fastball up middle. Guerrero gets pretty much all of it, almost all of it. Makes things interesting. It goes, I think, like 395 basically into center field and for a flyout. Now, mind you, it was only hit 99 miles an hour. I mean, if his exit velocity was maybe a little higher, like, I don't know, 117, that probably gets out. And that's a home run. And that's a 2-run ball game. For those that wonder if exit velocity means anything. So, so it stays in the ballpark as a flyout now. And Ramirez actually does the job. 5 pitches in the 9th inning. 1, 2, 3, done. Pirates still have a chance. So let's go on the offense. I'll finish it off. It's the 9th inning. Jack Sawinski's up. He gets on through a hit, third base, shifts on. It's the 9th inning. We talk about like the Pirates. They're bad, but they seem to battle. It seems like every late innings they do something. They keep it interesting at least. And Jack Sawinski, as mentioned, gets a hit. 1 on, no outs. Cal Mitchell's up. All right. Cal Mitchell's had a fantastic AAA season. He's had a pretty bad Major League season. So he gets up. He gets on by a hit. He hits the pitcher, basically. It deflects off him, goes in the middle infield, up to the outfield. Now 2 on. Bucks on the corners, first and third. Guess what, guys? No outs. Greg Allen comes in the pitch hit for Cal Mitchell. And he's got wheels. Again, there's one thing you're going to say about Greg Allen. Does he deserve to be on this ball club? No. Does he deserve to be on any major league team? No. But he's got speed. So they go ahead and take Mitchell out. They put in Greg Allen. First thing he does is take second. So now, hey, listen, I understand it's the 2022 Pirates, but there's 0 outs. The double play ball is gone. There's a man on second. There's a man on third. Pirates are going to do this, right? Like they're going to at least tie the ball game, right? Well, mind you, Mr. 187, Josh Van Meter, Mr. 57 weighted run created plus, Mr. 32 weighted runs created plus since July 1st. 132 batting average since July 1st. Josh Van Meter's up, starting his 2nd game in a row today at first base. 2 on, no outs. Strikeout. We saw that coming, right? Then Marcano comes up to the plate. He gets out. It was a good at bat. Then Heineman's up. Kevin Newman replaces him. Pitch hits. And Kevin Newman gets out. There's your ball game. Pirates, as we assumed, 2 on, 0 outs, 3 straight outs. No runs scored. No tie ball game. Pirates was at home. Pirates was a series. There you have it, folks. Your 2022 Pirates. They kept it interesting. Like you at least had faith that there was a chance, and that's what the Pirates seem to do. So, like if anything, they don't quit. I'll give them that, and I'll give Shelton that. They don't quit. But it's a poorly coached team. It's a poorly constructed team. And talking about the coach, it's something I want to talk about as well. the errors. So we mentioned about the Cruz and the Castro errors today. And I think I talked about a little bit before, especially like on Castro, right? And that's just the thing. Like seeing all the errors today, really, every single one of them. This team, especially this infield, is just way too athletic to be this poor defensively. And like that's the one thing. If you want to stay positive, if you want to look at Cruz, you want to look at Castro, even you know what? I take it back. When I say defensively, this bad defensively for the whole team today, no, I'll say one thing. Jack Sawinski had a great catch in the outfield today. So I'll give props where props is due. Jack Sawinski had an incredible catch, which definitely saved some runs. I forget who was pitching at the time. Yep, I forget who was pitching at the time, but certainly would have put some runs on that person's ERA. So good job, Jack Sawinski. But yes, for the Castros, the Cruz that I mentioned, all those errors, like all this stuff that you're seeing, the reason they're having errors, the reason there's poor defense, can all be coached up. So again, like that's the one thing that keeps me encouraged and hopeful. Albeit at the same time, what you're probably thinking leaves you feeling like it's never going to happen because it's the Pirates, right? This stuff is what can be coached up. This team needs some coaching. This team needs to put some emphasis, and I don't know, obviously off season in the spring, whatever. Like Castro and Cruz, I feel like could come back next year and perform better. Now, be it they're also rookies. I mean, middle infielder rookies. This isn't science. This isn't something that's brand new, right? I mean, there's adjustments to be made. Obviously, there's more adjustments on the bat side typically than defensively. But regardless, like I feel like this stuff that can be cleaned up, and I'm hopeful it can be cleaned up. Because again, most of what you're seeing isn't ability, isn't lack of ability. They have all the ability in the world. It's just true lack of fundamentals. So, yes, there was errors, but like the good thing about seeing these errors is it's stuff that you're hopeful that can be improved upon and get better and cleaned up, hopefully for next season. So there's that. Now going down the lineup today, it was a national stage. It was a Peacock game. So anyone can watch it except if you're Tyler Sweeney. There was a lot of talk about Oneil Cruz pretty much the entire game, and we see why. So he's interesting, as mentioned, kind of like Castro. He's in the talk all the time, mostly for good stuff. But he does go 2 for 4. I'm sorry, 1 for 4 today, 2 strikeouts. Stripling's changeup was devastating today, as it's pretty much been all year. For this season, he's got a 32% whiff rate on his changeup, his pretty much his best pitch. And that was no different today. Pirates hitters whiffed 60% of the time. He threw it 22 times. I'm sorry, batters swung at it 22 times with 13. So Cruz is definitely on the receiving end of that today. But Cruz does do what Oneil Cruz does. He hits a home run today, 115.8 miles per hour exit velocity. And again, why is that important? Why do people talk about it? Because that's literally the difference between him and Vladimir Guerrero today. Guerrero at the end of the game, flat out against Ramirez. Oneil Cruz hits a home run. Why? Because he hit it 16. I'm sorry. Yeah, 16 or 12. I forget. It was 98 miles an hour. I forget what Vlad's was now. But anyways, he hits it a lot harder than Vladimir Guerrero. And it was a line drive. And everyone on the broadcast, even included Bob Walk, who's seen Oneil Cruz, was just flabbergasted. Everyone thought that was an out. The way he hit it, and it's just like it's like his MO at this point in time. Like everything just looks so effortlessly. And the way he hit it, everyone just assumed it was a fly out to center field. And it goes over the fence. Just a complete smoked line drive. I think 424 feet was the home run. That's what Oneil Cruz does. Like, this is why you're excited for Oneil Cruz. This is why you stay enamored by Oneil Cruz. And you watch every single bat because he is struggling. But he does stuff that's incredible and amazing when you see it. And you just hope that it clicks. And it's not clicking yet. But you hope. Yesterday, that triple he hit was off a lefty. These are the things you're paying attention to. You want to see progression. This is a rookie season, and I'm sure not much is going to change from today to the end of the middle part of next month, but hopefully into next season, right? Having us behind them, progressing, coming next season. No longer your rookie year. You do improve and stuff. This is why people get excited. This is why national media gets excited. This is why it's on Peacock. And all they talked about today was Oneil Cruz. There's reasons for it. Listen to it. Understand it if you're still wondering. But he does go 1 for 4 today with that big home run. Brian Reynolds goes 0 for 4. He had a good August. He had a decent August. September turned around. It's the Blue Jay series. He's had an awful series. Now, mind you, just 3 games, but just 1 hit in the 3 games. The only time he got on base in the 3 games. He batted second today. Didn't really help out. Goes 0 for 4. Castro goes 0 for 3 today as well. 3 strikeouts. 1 just really fooled on. I think it was his last at bat. But, I mean, that ball was right down the middle, and he just watched it go by. And, again, something about Castro we talk about. He's pretty patient. He swings usually at good pitches, lays off bad pitches. Today wasn't his day. So, again, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Jack Suwinski, still a small sample. Tyler and I talked about it. The late kick and everything. Again, it's still very small sample. I'm not making any big I don't know if I'm lost for words. My analysis on him still being patient, but he did get the hit today, but albeit outside that hit, he didn't have many good plate appearances as well. So with the 4 at-bats, he did strike out the 1 time. I mean, I guess if you're talking about the strikeouts are down, like a hair to what they were before. But again, it's small sample. If he had 1 more strikeout, you'd probably talk about the same. So again, Jack Suwinski did have a big at-bat in the 9th inning. Outside of that, he really hasn't looked good coming back from AAA. Albeit, again, I still want him here. He's been AAA. Keep him here. Keep him developing. Let him see Major League pitching. He should be playing out the rest of the year in Pittsburgh, by all means. And again, there's really not much to talk about. The Pirates did have 5 hits today, 3 walks. Really, the Oneil Cruz home run for the most part. And that 9th inning was like the most exciting of the game offensively. Yes, they did score 3 runs. But yeah. And Van Meter actually was the one. He had the big 2 RBI, I believe double it was. Yeah, RBI double. So I know we give a lot of crap about Josh Van Meter. He does not belong on this team, but he did have a big hit last night. He had a big hit today. Whatever. He's not a good hitter. He's not a good fielder. He's not a good baseball player. There's guys maybe more deserving, like Travis Swaggerty. It's not that he's tearing it up. But if you're talking about player-centric environment, if you're talking about people deserving things, Josh Van Meter doesn't deserve a roster spot. Travis Swaggerty only has a 106 weighted runs created place in AAA, but he's also 25 years old. As Tyler likes to say, it's time to shit or get off the pot. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Like, he's 25. Everyone's seeing a real chance. I mean, again, like Cal Mitchell isn't performing right now in the majors. It's small sample, but he's not performing. Like, when does Suwinski get his chance? Ji-Hwan Bae is performing in AAA. He's got a 119 weighted runs created plus. He's batting, I think, 309, like a 360 on base percentage. He is performing. Why can't he take Josh Van Meter's spot on the 40-man? Like, yes, you have to add him to the 40-man, and that's like his downfall. You can't just call him up, but it's as simple as saying, Josh Van Meter, you don't deserve to be on the major league team, so we're moving on. Ji-Hwan Bae, you're performing, or Travis Swagger, you're performing to some extent. Let's put you up here and get what you deserve. That's all. But it's not happening. And I just truly feel like Josh Van Meter is on this club the entire year, and I don't know how that happens. I don't understand how that happens. And it's funny how today Ben Cherington had his talk and how he wants to imitate the Royals. I guess that's the new team we're moving on to because they're the latest team that was bad and has success. So now it's the Royals. I'm sorry, Royals. The Orioles we're moving on to. And it's cool. You know what the Orioles did? They had some really good prospects because they've made trades and those prospects have panned out. They had good drafts. And albeit I'm still open to the drafts. Like, I'm not down. I'm not saying Cherington's drafted terribly. That's really been his bright spot. But the trades haven't looked too good. So they had a really good farm. And albeit I understand they had 400 lost seasons, but they had a complete teardown. They had nothing in the tank when they went to rebuild. But again, what did they do? They built a bullpen. They got a really good bullpen. And if you look and see how they did that, it was a lot of just cheap ways of doing it. Didn't cost them any money. A lot of waiver wires, a lot of trades they made. If you look at how that bullpen was established and look at how well it's performing, like, it can happen. It's not that hard. That way you don't have to be arguing about Duane Underwood Jr. every freaking day. So anyways, so there's that. Yeah, we'll get out of here. Not much more really to talk about this game. So, I mean, again, it's the Blue Jays. They're the better team. Speaking of better teams, the Pirates do face the Mets tomorrow at 12:35. They'll be playing. Again, speaking of better teams, the matchups don't look great. Tuesday is going to be fun. DeGrom versus Bryce Wilson. Can't wait for that one. But yeah, so tomorrow, hey, if anything, tomorrow though, Mitch Keller does face Taijuan Walker. It's another Mitch Keller day. He had a really good outing the last time. Let's see what happens tomorrow against this Mets lineup. Starling Marte returning to PNC Park. He should be a Pirate, but I digress. So we'll see you tomorrow. Happy Labor Day for everyone else. We'll see you. Bye-bye.